I just want to share some run. Some guys uploaded the first sub to Fatalis run ever. Here is a disclaimer before you prejudge. I'm not in any way form, mad or whatever. I just want to give you my thoughts and observation to it because I simply find something suspicious and my testing doesn't simply match the run's executions. Let me explain first what they did for making this possible. After the wire mistakes are all out, players besides one leave, and in Monster Hunter World the monster's HP scales back down to one player. However, this will require all players to leave the first frame after the stakes are out, so you can get all the stake damage on a single play HP monster, which is manageable since you can be abandon ready during the combo animation. This abandoning strategy exists for 5 years, and even we did this a year ago and found out that the game doesn't let players to leave immediately, but also it's not a strategy I would ever like to show off in a competitive run. Even if they abandon on their screen altogether, perfectly timed, the game will cause at least one or two players to freeze sometimes. This can be a latency issue, but it's always consistent. It always freezes some players. In my opinion, this run is extremely suspicious, and I'm not talking about using an abandoning strategy to fight a solo HP monster, which is completely fine. But as I mentioned before, we had tested this many times. I even recorded some runs with overlay on so you guys can see what's going on when someone leaves the quest. As you can see, when the first person visually leaves, nothing happens since there is no 3-player scaling. But as the second player visually leaves, the HP instantly downscales percentage-wise to 2-player and so on to 1-player. I say visually because we confirmed it until all players aren't visually disconnected, there is no downscale happening. Now comes the sussy part. Even though the other guys pressed leave the moment the stakes came out, the game doesn't disconnect them immediately. This means there is no downscale happening, let alone you literally need to disappear about the first few frames to have enough damage. Fatalis solo has 67,000 HP and the Gunlin's triple stake does about 90,000, if executed perfectly. By the time this guys visually leave from the quest, which is when the downscale happens, all the damage has already been done. This means you could not possibly have the tag 70k HP after the downscale happened. You did already all the damage before. Now, another thing that is hyper contradictive and for me personally the most suspicious thing in the run is the skull on the minimap. The skull appears around 1 second after the wire mistake. It shows up at around 10% HP left with a slight delay after the HP threshold is reached. This means Fatalis HP is 0 by the time it shows up for sure. However, in order to be able to get all the damage after the downscale is happening, it factually means the wire stake damage from all 3 players would have to be at least delayed by a second or 2, at least. However, here is 0 delay and no latency whatsoever going on. Fatalis is just instantaneously dead. This can only have been possible if Fatalis had already 66k HP by the time the wire mistake started, and all the damage connected even instantly for the skull to show up such early. Here's another clip I added. Here you can see 2 things. A, how fast the HP is getting drained the first few frames. There is already 30k damage going off the budget. This means there isn't even much damage to kill Fatalis, even if the scaling was happened at this exact second. Then downscale to 2-player. And B, you can see some damage getting deducted very delayed for no reason. So even though everyone stopped damaging, I basically received the damage packaging later and it starts deducting off the HP further. But still no 1-player scaling because there is frozen players on the screen. Now, even if you say on their run the damage comes fully delayed to 1-player scaling, it would contradict itself because the skull symbol in the video appears immediately. In addition, you can see the damage that is getting delayed. It drains off the threshold of the head. So this means even if you somehow had delayed the damage by that much, it will have flinched or broken the head because it will be out of his immunity animation during the sleep. Downscaling is percentage based, so let's say you drained around 30k before the downscale happens. Fadi will have around 133k, which is 78%. Now the downscale to 2 players happens after a while and you can see the HP jump to 89 and 51 after everyone is gone except the host. What I'm trying to say in very simple words, there is no possible way you could have done all the damage after the players left. You clearly can see people are frozen in the quest which means there is no downscaling. You're dealing the damage on a 170k HP monster or 112k on 2-player scaling, whatever. Let alone our full POVs are cut way beforehand, which is not even an issue compared to the other one. Going over this video again, I did also additionally some damage calculation because literally nothing makes sense in this run. I used figuratively accurate numbers for the other two POVs which are invisible. On best case scenario, it will be around 75k damage in total, maybe a little bit more, I don't know, which technically is enough to kill a Fatalis with 67k HP from the start. But it has 171k HP and some of the damage goes in 100% before any downscale happens, or even before someone abandons. This is inventable. For example, the bombs and a few ticks. Like you will see this damage on everyone's POV if they would have uploaded their POV. This means according to those numbers, there most likely wasn't even enough damage to kill Fatalis if everyone even disconnected half a second after the wire mistake. This is simply because a portion of that damage has gone to 171k HP, so even if it was just 5k, it will have downscaled to like 60 something k, and there is no way they did still 60 something k on the downscale. Now, whether you say it's possible or not, I have no other way of proving it than just showing what information I gathered from my testing, and I guess we will never know without them showing actual and uncut POV with an HP overlay on of the host, because there is no possible explanation that you did damage after the players are disconnected. According to the video you uploaded and the testing I did, you have done all the damage on a high player HP scaling. But yeah, I personally don't care whether it's real or not. I just wanted to have this information out and please by no means go bash on someone else's video. I already saw people bashing at me for saying the run is not legit and stuff. I'm completely chill about it. I don't care. I can be totally wrong, but simply it wasn't replicatable. And for me, I don't see how that was possible. However, the game sometimes acts strange with latencies. We do have latency issues as well, and still never got the downscale happening before my friends visually disconnected. Just like in their run there was player frozens, so the downscale can never been happened until some other mysterious Capcom glitch was going on. Another update I added afterwards, I commissioned a plugin from my friend that shows everything in logs with the 0.1 second precision when the players disconnect and when the downscale is happening, just in case the HP overlay was somehow magically wrong. However, this plugin shows factually the game logs, like it registers instantly what the game does and what commands the game sends, what functions. It's 100% confirmed that if someone doesn't visually disconnect, the leave quest and downscale package never happens. According to the timestamps on the screen, you can see the players disconnect 20 seconds later, and exactly then happens the downscale, even though everyone abandoned during the wire mistake. I'm happy to hear a defense to this allegation. I do massively apologize if there is something wrong or we have overseen. I spent hours triple checking any allegation that has been done in this video, and as well tried this last year, but we had dropped it due to this not being possible, and in addition we even checked for about 10 hours trying to replicate the run. But I mean, there is no difficulty. Like triple stake is doing once a triple stake is extremely easy. You get it like every third try. So yeah, it's not like we didn't hit the triple stake, we abandoned at the same time. And saying latency is the trick to it, like we do have latency, like it doesn't change anything. I'm from Germany, my friend is from Britain, my other friend is from America, and the other guy is from Japan. And we even tried with Chinese guys, and yeah, there was no possible way to get this. So additionally, the final task we decided to do, and this is really giving me headache, is to replicate it by replicating their locations. So I went to Philippines, Lani, US, Mar, Germany, Edgy, France. There was no change whatsoever besides some syncing issues for the triple stake for the Philippines person. Also, if the host leaves with 100% consistency, the damage didn't count in our case. So for example, me as a host leaving and Aji or Lani staying in the quest, they wouldn't get the damage of anyone. They would have just their own damage. So Fatalis would always have like over 50k HP. So according to this information, no one even damaged Fatalis on that run. With that said, I wish you all a nice day and happy hunting, guys. Leave down in the comments your thoughts. Obviously, I can't ask people from a non-speedrunner perspective or non-testing to judge this, but I just wanted to have this out.